Will you be so kind and unmute yourself, Ms. Stribling? You're muted.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
excuse me, I had to turn off the other Zoom.
It's okay. How are
Okay,
you?
Hello, I'm LaJuan Stribling. I'm a resident of Greenbelt, Maryland, and I've lived here for about 12 years now, a long-term resident of Prince George's County and Washington, D.C. I just want to give the background of my heritage to Maryland. I'm tracing my site using Ancestry.com. I am the granddaughter of Eleanor Pendleton Bailey, who was born in Washington, D.C. Her parents are Henry Pendleton, born in D.C., and Eleanor Taylor Pendleton, born in New Jersey. My great-grandfather's, Henry's parents, are James Pendleton, who was born in Accomack County, Virginia, and also my great-great-grandmother, Ida Smallwood Pendleton, born in Maryland in 1885. Her parents, my great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, Sarah Gardner Smallwood, born in Calvert, Maryland in 1867, and Henson Smallwood, born in Maryland in 1864. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a lot.
It's okay. You just take your time. Go ahead.
I'm going to skip down some.
Okay, take your time, okay? And when the buzzer goes off, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just take a deep breath and talk from your heart. Tell me.
I am talking from my
Yeah,
heart. That's
take
the
your
problem.
time.
Her parents were my great-great-great-grandparents, Sarah Gardner Smallwood. Excuse me, I think I just said that one. Excuse me. The 1870 census has Harris Lot, Charles, Maryland listed for their residents. By 1890, they were living in Petersburg, Maryland, moved to Washington, D.C., and then 1894 back to Petersburg, Maryland, which is in Frederick, Maryland. Henson's parents were Hanson Smallwood, born in 1839, and Eliza Sinkfield, born in 1844. My great-great-great-great-grandparents were born in Maryland. My ancestors were farmhands, laborers, oystermen, servants, and slaves in Charles County, Maryland, and Petersburg, Frederick, Maryland, Accomack County, Virginia, and Madison, Orange, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. Excuse me. Searching through the slavery files in Maryland, I find the relationship between two families that owned slaves who were also lawmakers. According to Branson Cook genealogy, Robert Hanson and Baines Smallwood were among the General Assembly delegates who considered acts of impositions on Negroes, imported liquor, and Irish servants. I'm going to skip down because you guys have this in written too. These acts in Maryland were started 35 years before the Revolutionary War, and delegation was still loyal to the British Crown. I'm going to skip down some more. Slavery was still alive and well for more than a century after the acts were considered. Census records show that in 1790 and 1800, both the Hansons and Smallwoods had quite a few slaves. I gave you a list of all the slaves they had. In closing, it is my opinion that every descendant of chattel slavery is owed reparations. Addresses the foundations of why I'm still living paycheck to paycheck after 30 years of being employed is essential for reparative justice. I come from generations of brokenness and find myself homeless and alone on my 17th birthday. I had my first child at 18 years old, raised him in a single parent household with no community or family support. He is now 27 years old, wondering why I didn't set him up for his future. He's comparing his life to the lives of some of his peers who grew up in a nurturing, supportive, and financially stable home environment. The effects of chattel slavery, post-Reconstruction, Jim Crow laws, redlining communities, marginalized banking and education, and the war on drugs have created generations of poverty, generational trauma, curses, PTSD, and lost hope. Reparations Commission for this bill, will begin to repair the effects of over 400 years of unimaginable living conditions. Reparations will provide a way for families living in disenfranchised environments to afford a way to provide a better education, better living arrangements, better choices in food and healthcare, as well as freedom in a class-hungry society. Happy Women's History Month.
Thank you for sharing your family's story, for sharing your experiences. I want you to know that the committee listened and that we value your time and your efforts and your feelings, okay? We appreciate it. Are there any questions for this witness? Okay. Any? Oh, Delegate Kaiser.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What hopefully is a brief question. Thank you, Delegate McCaskill. Thank you for letting me co-sponsor the bill. Before I ask my question, I did just want to point out that our current treasurer is not the first black treasurer in the state, Richard Dixon from 96 to 02.